I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Welcome to Covers' Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Game 4 in the books. Game 5 going Saturday night. Edmonton minus 120 home favorite. Total sitting at 6.5. How? The question is how? Mr. Carlo Colaiacovo. Yeah. How did we get here? From 3-0 to 3-1 to 3-3 to 4-3 to 4-4 to Florida dominating overtime, and then just a greasy goal gets in past Bob. I mean, there was that one that hit the post in overtime too, the Bennett post. Then there was the scramble in the Florida crease too. The that Frederick was post,
yeah.
But how does Florida get here? So the last three cup runs. Here's the stat of the day, and Jonathan Davis was in my inbox telling me about it. The last three cup runs, Florida 21-0 straight up after leading after one period. In the series alone, they're 1-2 straight up. What's happening?
It kind of feels like Edmonton's a team of destiny that the Florida Panthers are trying to beat, no? I mean, for how dominant Florida was to go up 3-0 in the first period of that game yesterday, you kind of felt like that was their killer instinct to not even give Edmonton the slightest hope and bury all their hopes and dreams of coming back to win this series. Everyone was saying, oh my God, the Florida Panthers, like, how do you beat this team? And now they're up 3-0. Like, there's just no chance. And then they put in Calvin Pickard, and this guy seems to be the good luck charm sent in from the heavens. He comes in, he stands on his head, he gives them the life, and they find a way to win this game again. Look, we've seen teams come back from 3-0 down, but we haven't seen teams do that against the Florida Panthers. And that's what the most shocking revelation to all this is that they didn't just do it by coming back 3-0. They did it against the Florida Panthers at home in the Stanley Cup playoffs with only 40 minutes left to play in the game. I still, and then you look at their roster. Maybe we were talking about this roster before we came on. We're like, how is Edmonton doing this?
Nobody stands out. Like, you're watching the game, you're like, no one's driving lines except for 29 was incredible. I'll give him that.
5 goals by Edmonton, 1 point by McDavid, and it's 2-2 in his series going back to Edmonton. And it's like you're sitting here like, how the hell are they doing this?
I don't know.
I still don't know. I go back to before the playoffs started where I had zero faith and belief in the Edmonton Oilers. And it's like yesterday was 3-0. I had thrown the curtains. It was out. Done. Throw in the towel.
Get some early sleep for morning radio guy.
Exactly. Instead, Sam Reinhart has to punish morning radio guys.
But Pickard wasn't in a very good spot on that save either, right? So was making the joke before we got on about how Pete DeBoer smiling and nodding that goalie change worked. But there's a big difference between going from Jake Ottinger to Casey DeSmith in a must-win game versus Stuart Skinner to Calvin Pickard in game 4.
Yeah. I guess, but
it worked.
Hey, well, I mean, you just got to sit there and clap your hands to everything Edmonton's doing. They're finding a way to win, and they're doing it in just crazy fashion.
But the go-ahead goal, they're just taking advantage of stuff. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 4 guy, he was the only guy below the line. They were taking a line change, and then all of a sudden, Barkov gets the puck on the half wall. Tries to go back up the middle slightly. He had the outlet there, but there were 2 Florida Panthers there. He throws it in the boots, and then the turnover from RNH, and we're laughing at it. That old Jakey Wallman was cocked and loaded for about 45 seconds before he got to get that shot off.
What a shot, man.
But it looked very similar to my buddy Sam Bennett's shot, who was in that same spot, but Pickard shoulder, crossbar, that would have won me money. That would have been it for my Conn Smythe.
Doesn't Pickard look like just an unorthodox goalie the way he plays? It's like when you see him and you stare at him, you're like, I can beat this guy, but he finds a way to make those saves. It's crazy, man.
We saw Bob's market plummet. He's not even anywhere near the Conn Smythe odds now after that game. When we look at the Conn Smythe, kind of looking at if Florida wins right now, it's unless Brad Marchand gets a big goal, it's Sam Bennett's right now, but it's a pick 'em in the series. And old Leon Draisaitl kind of closed the gap between him and Connor McDavid in terms of.
Oh, Draisaitl's getting it.
You think if Edmonton wins, Draisaitl gets Conn Smythe?
Yes. That guy's got 2 overtime Stanley Cup Finals goals, and he's got 4 overtime playoff goals.
Okay. Still gets that handoff too, right?
He gets the handoff for sure. But here's a guy who's entering the conversation.
No, don't say Pickard. Do not say Pickard. Stop it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? No.
Hold on a second.
Playoff MVP, not 2 series MVP.
If he wins the next 2 games for the Edmonton Oilers, he's going to finish with a 9-0 record. How can that go? Like, how can you not look at that? Like, it's just
no.
I don't know, man. Entering the conversation.
All right, conversation. Sure.
What's Pickard's odds right now to win the Conn Smythe?
Oh, put me on the spot. Let's take a look.
Go find it.
I'll find it. So, I'll set you up, and you talk about this while I find it. We were talking about the slow ice in Florida, and you said people were messaging you about what this sounds
ridiculous of a take it was.
But how did it look? I mean, yes, it was a 5-4 game, but did you see McDavid go up and down the ice like he usually does?
No. Well, he did in the second period when he undressed and broke the ankles of Aaron Ekblad. That was probably the only.
That's one time. Like, he wasn't every other shift.
2 games in Florida, 1 point. I mean, not playing it. I mean, not just McDavid, just Edmonton itself. Like, for the speed that we saw them play with in game 1 and 2, I don't think they played anywhere close to that. And I think, like, when you brought it up the other day, I started to think about it, and it made sense. It made sense because Florida, like, they want to suffocate you. They want you to play through them. And I don't know how Edmonton did yesterday, down 3-0. But it kind of fits into their game where they want to slow you down, and the ice could play a factor. And I've played on soft ice. I've played on hard ice. I've played on bad ice. I've played on good ice.
Sound like a Dr. Seuss book right now.
It was. That's a Dr. Seuss line.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've played on slow ice. I've played on fast ice. I've played on the ice that's nice and the ice that's not so nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, have you found the Pickard odds yet?
Yeah, 60-1.
I mean,
he's the same price as Bob.
Okay, so hear me out. I think right now, after game 4, going into game 5, you can easily say Florida, it's either Bennett or Marchand.
Correct.
Edmonton, I think Draisaitl is the front runner if they win.
Yeah, seeing Draisaitl slight favorite. Pretty much Draisaitl, McDavid are head to head.
Unless McDavid goes full scorched earth and he's got like 6 points in the next 2 games if they win. Or he goes on this incredible tear.
Matthew Tkachuk's ahead of Brad Marchand right now for Conn Smythe odds.
I wouldn't do that. But here's the thing. Right now, I wouldn't do that. But if Marchand leads the finals in goals scored, that to me is what would put him at the top if Florida wins.
Yeah, he's out.
Right?
Bennett or bust.
I'm with you on that. I'm just saying, I'm presenting a scenario where if it wasn't Bennett, what could it be? I don't think it's Tkachuk. I think the only guy in Florida that could win it if they win is Brad Marchand. And I think if Edmonton wins right now, it's Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, McDavid's in the chat. But if they win the next 2 games and Calvin Pickard's in net and he finishes the playoffs at 9-0, come on, man. You've got to give him some consideration.
Sure, maybe some consideration, but he's not getting the trophy.
Okay.
I'll eat those words. I'll eat those words on vacation. That's fine. I also got a buddy.
I presented a scenario.
I know. That's fine. Is
Edmonton.
We're not going to get blindsided by it.
He wins the next 2 games. That's the scenario.
I know another guy in one of my group chats. $30K for Bennett payout for Conn Smythe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So like he's talking to me about it, and they're like, I'm small potatoes to that, but wow. I don't know. 30K with a 10K payout right now after that game.
I mean, this morning, it's a 10K
Yeah,
payout.
before game 5, yeah.
Why doesn't he take it? It's guaranteed money.
Because he's smart.
But he could lose it and get nothing.
I trust him. I think he's
okay.
Knows what losing $20,000 is like, because that's it. I think he also has some positions on Draisaitl too, which makes it a lot easier to let them both ride.
Right.
All right. So all of a sudden we have the travel day and we go Saturday. Make sense to me, right? 2 days in Florida, like everybody there, like the Chicklets crew, all the media, they're all saying the exact same thing. It feels like we've been in Sunrise for like 2 weeks.
But here's the thing. The NHL is combating the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So the NBA Finals picked Wednesday night for their game in Indiana. So the NHL is not going to go head-to-head against the NBA. So that's why that game between 3 and 4 was stretched to Thursday.
Okay.
And I know it's not ideal for the travel day and then back in Edmonton for Saturday, but I would imagine the broadcasters said, we want a Saturday night Stanley Cup final game. Remember, it's the NHL has a small say, but the last say in the schedule is the rights holders. So you're not going to go head to head against the NBA on Wednesday night. Yeah, the most sense would have been day off, 1 day off in Florida, play 3 and 4, and then 2 days off to travel into Edmonton. But the NBA screwed it for the NBA or for the NHL.
Yeah. So we got guaranteed Tuesday game 6 back in Florida. So you go Saturday, 2 days off of the travel, back to Florida.
And when's game 7? Friday?
Tuesday to Friday, bro.
Wow.
That's a 3-day offer. Like that really takes the lust out of what Florida does to try to bang you up in 7 games. When you get 3 days off, you get Wednesday, Thursday. You're playing on 2 days of rest.
Okay, so let's talk about game 5 right now. Who has the advantage of game 5? I say it's Edmonton.
I think that it's going to be a fast game again.
But not just that. Like playing 3 overtime games in 4 games, you can see like the toll it's been taken on these players. I've done this travel, not this travel, but similar. I remember when in 2013, when I was in the playoffs with the Detroit Red Wings and we played Anaheim in the first round. We played every other night, every travel day. So between game 2 and 3, there was a travel day, and then game 4 and 5, 5 and 6. Every travel day was a 3-hour time change plus 5-hour flight. Okay. And then you had to step on the ice next game. Buddy, there was players getting IVs on the plane, in the hotel room, in the dressing room, just to stay hydrated.
If I had IVs on command being put in me, I would take them every day.
Buddy, that's the easiest way to get hydrated.
It's the easiest way just to feel like $1 million, is it not?
Yeah. So today's travel day, especially after that game last night, and then the turnaround Saturday in Edmonton, that's a tough game for anybody to play. And I think Edmonton's going to have a little bit more energy just because of the crowd in that building.
But Florida feeds on that shit too, right? Like,
buddy,
going into a building, like to throw that punch and to shut up
team, though. They're still
to shut up a building is just as exciting as to get a team going.
Yeah.
And
especially with the way Edmonton won last night, like that's an easy way to keep the momentum going where you stay into your routine playing every day. If that was 2 days off, the momentum runs off.
I do think if I was going to go on a side, which I'm not because the plays are down there at the bottom, I go Edmonton at -120. I even might add it to the card because I think it could shorten up. I like Edmonton at -120. Also like the over at 6.5 at +105. Like it at the plus money. Like it at even money. I think the games in Edmonton will be faster. I think Bob's fighting some things right now too. We saw it last year at this exact same time where they were up 3-0. He was a Conn Smythe runner and had to go 7 games, and his name wasn't mentioned again. McDavid's going to be better on that faster ice. over 1.5 points plus money. He was minus 115 on the road, and then he goes home, and now he's plus 105. That number's going to shorten up. That doesn't make any sense to me. RNH looks healthy. I was a little worried because we'd been running his assists in the the Western Conference Finals. He was the best player, I think, on the Edmonton side, plus 160 there. And then Tkachuk also looks to be a little healthier. We wanted to get a piece of him, so I think we go the Barkov line and Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Line 1, PP1 correlated. We saw the power play 1 kind of get its feel. And when Reinhardt's going, I think everybody's going on that top power play.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like it too, man. I think, you look at how the teams have gotten here. They've gotten here, especially Florida, with their depth leading the way, especially that third line. You knew it was just a matter of time before those top players are going to get going. I just feel like this is their time. They're getting going. They're turning it up. And they're probably going to be relied on heavily in the next game. And look, this was the same time last year where Edmonton started to get going, right? Yeah. Down 3-0. Game 4 is when they turned things around. I mean, did the same thing just happen now? I mean,
I just kept thinking about the Leafs in game 3, up 3-1, or sorry, game 4, up 2-1 in the series, and just how it went after that.
Well, what about game 3 when they were up 2-0 and 3-1?
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, when they were in Florida, had a chance to go up 3-1 in the series. That was game 4.
No, it was game 3, buds.
Oh, they would have been up. Jesus, yeah.
They would have been up 3-0 in the series. Marchand scored in overtime.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But I thought that was game 4, and they were up 2-1 in the series. Sorry, no, they're up 2-0.
They got shut out.
Yeah. Haven't lost more money on Florida. They did it to me again. I'm looking back at it. Game 3, Eastern Conference Finals. They win 6-2, dominate. Everyone's saying Florida, absolute wagon, cannot knock them off. Hammered everything on the Florida side in game 4. You know what happened in game 4? Carolina wins 3-0. And I got goose egged. And that's what I felt like that. I know we had 9 goals, but somehow I didn't touch a Bennett. I got the Bennett assist, but I didn't get anything with Erod. The third line did absolutely nothing. No Schmid. The defense didn't get involved as much.
So you stayed up to watch that game, right?
Last night?
Yeah.
It was in the parking lot of the baseball
so my point was, imagine going to bed last night with all those bets in. You wake up and you see a 5-4 score. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna win.
Oh yeah, no. What? No.
I know.
No, baseball saved my bacon last night, but I don't know. This is still, the series is a coin toss. But I hate to say it because I have the Bennett shares, but I think Edmonton's should be a slight favorite going forward.
Yeah.
Two home games in that barn with good ice. Bob's not great. I know you got Picker, but last change is pretty important when you can put 97 and 29 together sometimes. That's it. That's the difference. Because we're talking about the Edmonton lineup looks awful, right? Like no one's out there doing anything special. Oh, Connor Brown's jumping up to that top line. Let's hammer his everything. I think I saw like one camera shot of him the entire game. Right? Like RNH looked great. I feel like he doesn't look as questionable. I doubt he'll have a questionable tag going into game 5. But outside of that, I didn't see anybody like that's why we're talking about the depth in Edmonton, because on paper it's kind of crappy.
Yeah. I don't know.
But that's just how good top line guys are, like McDavid and Draisaitl, that they can make up for all those issues on the depth. And yeah, Edmonton fans will be like, yeah, look what happened in series 1, 2, and 3 with that depth. Congratulations. I don't really see it right now in the Stanley Cup Finals. And
yeah, I agree.
But fuck, 97 and 29 are good. Draisaitl is up there as fun to watch as a player as anybody in the NHL.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Before we get going here, plays down at the bottom. Stanley Cup Finals Game 5 going Saturday night, 8:00. We don't even get the early start. We get the 8:00 start. Anything on Mitch Marner? Anything there? Anything I should be putting in the accounts? Same. We're on the same track. Anything? You think the Rangers are doing anything now that Kreider's shipped off and they retain the whole salary?
I mean, it seems like they're primed to do something with that cap space, but
Is Bennett still 10 million a year?
Not in Florida.
No, not that's a really good point. No, not in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I think if he helps, I think if he hits the open market, he's absolutely a threat to get, not even a threat. There's a chance he gets 10 million a year. Yeah. I mean, look, you're entering an off season where there's a lot of money to spend now, right? I mean, teams might not just.
But it's not a great. Like, it'd be awesome if it was next year. Next year's is awesome.
Yeah, but you got to remember, there's a cap floor that every team has to spend to.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that look like? I don't know.
I don't know either. But
That,
guys like Michael Duchesne's going to get paid. Is Granlund's a free agent too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right? Like those guys are going to get.
Jason Robertson, he's a name that gets floated out there, right? As potential trade target. Are the Rangers looking at him potentially to bring in? I don't know.
Yeah, some guys are getting overpaid, that's for sure. Not saying it's Bennett, just saying because of that, and maybe not the biggest UFA class here. I think some guys are going to get paid that maybe shouldn't. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. Still hoping out for San Jose. Mitch Marner in San Jose would be great hockey. I probably wouldn't get to watch much of it, but I think that's an exciting team, and I think he would fit that mold very well. All right,
Agreed.
Saturday night, another fucking overtime game coming our way, right? Like just finish it. Like every team, like every game, like someone's coming back. Like just close out a game, somebody. Let's have more game 3 than game 4. How about that?
I like it.
I like it too. Let's get some winners, some goals, square stuff. McDavid over points. That 105 is just insane. RNH, we can get those together. And then the Barkov-Kachuk line getting back together. Barkov getting on the score sheet again. Kachuk, that first power play, looking good. Plus 145. Game 5. The season's almost over, bud. What a grind. Let's go. One more week, a week and a half, but I appreciate it. Let's go. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these bets. Download the app. Josh Ingles, damn it. We'll cut that out. Josh Ingles, Carlo Colaiacovo. Oh, 22 minutes of gloriousness. And then right at the end, Flubby. Happy Friday.
Okay, buddy. Happy Friday, buddy. Hey, you know what? Happy Father's Day to you too.
Oh, Father's Day. Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah. Ciao.